what up, though? It's Ethos, and I'm back with MMOBomb just to do a cool first look at a brand new free-to-play MMO ARPG game called Crystal of Atlan. It's developed and published by Nuverse. It's a Chinese-developed game that is now here in America, and I was asked if I could take a look at the game. At first, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to try this game out, but when I saw there was a Digimon collab, as a huge Digimon fan myself, I knew I had to at least give it a shot, to at least see the Digimon collab. So the world of this game kind of has this Magicpunk type of aesthetic to it. It's this combination of magic and machinery to create this unique aesthetic, and I will say that the game starts off with a bang. It does a really cool prologue that puts you right into the action, that lets you try all the base classes so you can get a feel for each of them and then decide which one you want to play first on your main account. The narrative past that point is a little bit straightforward. I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy. You end up first in this village where you help this blacksmith and the mystery of his daughter, and so you're kind of going through that sort of thing while also you're leveling up. And basically in this village you'll be doing this dungeon involving a mine and these creatures that are attacking the village, and you're tasked with basically figuring out the source of why they keep attacking the village over and over again. The narrative is pretty straightforward. It will just carry you from point A to point B as you move from dungeon to dungeon. And from what I experienced too, the quests seem pretty straightforward. You're going to be going from point A to point B, talking to people, having little conversations with dialogue, and then going off and then doing a dungeon soon after. And you're pretty much going to be repeating this pattern throughout your entire time playing this game. I will say though, while the story might be a little bit hit or miss, the combat and class is really where this game shines. The combat, without a doubt, is the highlight of it. It's flashy, it's fluid, it feels really tactile, and there's actually a surprising amount of customization that you have. Of course, this game takes place in 3D, and you control one character, and you get to pick what class that character is. So it does look similar to other Chinese action games, similar to Genshin Impact. I will say though, how it handles its gameplay systems is different. It's not like a gacha game where you have to unlock a bunch of different characters. Instead, you just play as the one character yourself, and you can unlock different skills and customize those skills and actually create different types of combos with all the different things you'd expect from an action game, from being able to juggle, knock people up, knock them down to the ground, you know, a bunch of really cool stuff that you'd come to expect for any sort of ARPG with just that amazing animation aesthetic. Right now at launch, you're able to pick from 5 primary classes, so that's like warrior, mage, gunner, and there's a couple of others, a puppeteer, and there's also like a mage type class. And then within those classes, once you get to around like level 15, you can get subclasses, so then you can like customize and further go into a specific type of play style. I went with the gunner, and then from the gunner there was like 3 really cool classes. I forgot the name of the class I was playing, but it was I was drawn to it just because like you can drive a motorcycle as part of your combos. So I was like, oh, this is sick. So I was playing that class pretty much throughout all the gameplay that you're going to be seeing. And as you level up, even with the subclass, you can also switch and try a different subclass, but as you level up and you can use your points to level up the different skills and passive abilities, these things will allow you to unlock basically like sub skills. So you'll get like 4 slots for 4 different abilities, but then you can have more than just 4 active abilities. Within those skills, there's a follow-up skill that you can put within that same slot. So you can do one ability and then follow it up within a certain cooldown timer to do a follow-up to keep like the combos going basically. So, and this is fully customizable, which I thought was really awesome. And it's important that I point out that the leveling is actually really fast in this game. It's not like what you'd expect from many other MMOs that you've probably played in the past that require quite a bit of grinding before you can unlock your subclass. It was like 1 or 2 hours into playing the game that I immediately unlocked level 15. And they let me pick my subclass from there and allowed me to start experimenting. So you get a real sense of the progression really early on, and that helps keep combat really fresh as you're unlocking new skills very early on into the game. But however, because this is a free-to-play game from China, there is a con to this, and that is that this game has a stamina system. So there are daily energy caps of how much XP and resources you can farm and how much you can progress in the game. I didn't know this initially because when I was playing the dungeons, I was kind of annoyed by how once you finish like a small segment of the dungeon, it would have this little like pop-up that you'd have to go to say, oh, do you want to continue or stop? And I'd be like, why would I want to stop? So I kept trying to say, yes, continue, yes, continue. And I didn't know that was because basically it's a gate to see if you have enough energy to keep going into the next one. Unfortunately, I feel like this really sucks because it kind of kills the pacing. Like you'll be on a roll and then you're ready to go for the next one or go towards the boss, and then like there'll be this little crystal blocking your progression saying, hey, are you sure you want to go or do you want to quit this dungeon? And I'm like, why would I want to quit this dungeon? I kind of wish the system was just simply pay a certain amount of energy up front to just do the entire dungeon instead of separating it into these small little chunks, which really kills the pacing as you're trying to do dungeon runs. Overall though, the entire amount of customization that you have is really cool. There's about 12 different class changes that you can do really early on, and on top of that, each of these classes have around 20 different skills, so there's really deep customization. As for the modes, the game is really focused on PvE, but it also has PvP. Also, just to point out, when I talk about the energy system, there is a battery system, and to be fair, you can easily find different ways to get your hands on the energy that you need to keep going. But there is at a certain point that if you are grinding the game nonstop, yeah, you will eventually hit a wall that will require you to take a break. This is a mobile game, and on top of that, keep in mind that China recently did implement laws restricting online gaming playtime. So this is actually something that was built into the game as a legal requirement, because it is from China. Still kind of weird that they wouldn't just remove that requirement if it was going overseas. So that does make me believe that, is it really a legal requirement because of the law, or is it more of, well, if that's the case, then we'll bring it over to the West and we'll still keep it in, but we're going to make it where you can bypass it by basically giving us money. Just a little food for thought. Of course, much like every sort of free-to-play game, you can expect a bunch of menus. I think the UI is okay. There's some areas that are pretty straightforward, but there's just so much stuff that sometimes it could be a little bit overwhelming. I think in my first couple of hours when it was just like showing me stuff and revealing stuff and trying to pop tutorials in my face, there was just so many different areas, like the basic aspects of being able to upgrade, craft different armor, upgrade your skills. Like those places were pretty straightforward, but then when you start getting into catalysts and all this other additional aspects of like, oh, now you got to upgrade your stats this way, and there's this other area, and then we can do this to like, you know, min and max, you know, then you start getting into the nitty gritty. And for me, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure for a person that loves those type of number crunching type games, this will be right up your alley. Overall, again, if you're looking for something really stylish, cool, and you really like ARPGs and you want a really fun combat system, I think this game's right up your alley. It has great customization, and there's also crossplay as well, so you can play this on mobile and also on PC. I think the visuals are really nice, the soundtrack's straightforward, and the UI, while a little bit overwhelming, is relatively not too aggressively difficult to wrap your head around. I find also the Digimon collab that I did was awesome. I was able to get my hands on Gatomon. However, with the weaker story and stamina mechanics, they kind of temper the experience and really are the type of things that don't make me really want to engage with a game like this, especially when you can clearly see that there's areas where they try to nudge you towards conveniences that you have to pay for. If you're into anime games or looking for a brand new MMORPG with a focus of deep customization and action gameplay with the freedom to experiment with your class, I think Crystal of Atlan is absolutely worth diving into. Just know the type of game that you're about to get into, and also consider that you're probably going to need to have alternate characters as well to really maximize your leveling and growth. And that's my first look at Crystal of Atlan. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've tried this game out, what do you think? Do you like the gameplay and the visuals, or are you not really a fan at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, my name's Ethos, and I'll see you guys around. All right, peace out, everybody.